Auzubillahiminash-shaytanir-rajeem. Bismillahir-rahmanir-rahim. Assalamu alaikum viewers. I'm Zeeshan Naqvi from ILM News at Sheffield and surrounding areas. Today we're in Rotherham Council, and we have with us Councillor Jhangir, Akhtar, who is the Deputy Leader of Rotherham Borough Council. Councillor Akhtar, welcome. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
How are you, sir?
I'm good, thank you.
Good,
welcome to Rotherham.
Thank you very much for your hospitality. We've had a fantastic cup of tea with yourselves, and we're enjoying your company. We're here with Councillor Akhtar, and hopefully we'll be going through with some questions and answers, and obviously we'd like to find out what his ambitions and projects are at this current moment in time. Councillor Akhtar, would you like to tell me a bit about yourselves and your childhood, please?
Well, I was actually born in Pakistan, in Kashmir, near Mirpur. I was 9 years old before when we came over to this country.
Village called?
Village called Muqaddam. Muqaddam.
All right.
It's near Jakswari. I've had the pleasure of visiting a number of times. One of my earliest memories actually was about when we came to Britain, and it was the first time I'd actually seen people from other racial groups, and the strangest feeling was coming to a new world and not speaking a word of English. I remember going to first day at school in Birmingham, and I saw all these books, and I thought, what strange world have we come into? And the teacher, I'd never seen a black person before, and she was a black teacher, and she was wonderful, but I could just see her lips move and talk in a saying to my dad, thinking about me, where have you brought us here? This is a strange world. That's one of my earliest memories of coming to Britain. And then we moved to Rotherham in 1970 after a year, because what happened in them days was you followed where the work was.
Okay.
My father got a job in the steel industry here in Rotherham, and we've been here since that time.
You said you came here at the age of 9, and you also at the same time mentioned work. Did your family move here for work, or did you always have in mind that you were going to coming into education and then try and build yourself from there?
No, actually, my aspirations were to, as all families, the aspirations are to get a good education. Okay. But unfortunately, I was the eldest, and my father had been working for a very long time. So by the time it came to when I left school, even though my mum, may Allah have mercy on us all, and my father, their wishes were that I should carry on further education. But actually, I left school at 16. Right. I didn't stay on at college. Right. I don't have any further education. I have not been to a university. Right. So I left school at the tender age of 16 and went straight into full-time employment. Right.
So employment. What did you follow your father's footsteps? I think at that time there was some was it mines or foundries or
Actually, I went straight into the steel industry. Okay. I worked at British Steel for about 4 or 5 years, doing a number of jobs. I went on a training course there as well, where they put me through Iron and Steel Training Board, to do some steel making. Okay. But I did a number of other jobs as well, manual. I was a truck driver. Wow. Within the organisation as well.
So a range of things.
Absolutely. Absolutely, and I think my time in the steel industry actually sort of probably sowed the seeds of representation, because I became involved in the union. Okay. And I was very concerned about workers' rights and everything. Okay. And I think that was probably the start of my sort of...
We'll come back to unions later on, but I'd like you to tell me a bit about your family. How many brothers and sisters you have, and did they all come to UK with yourself, along with yourself, father and mother? So tell me a bit about your family, and were you the brightest one out of all?
No, I don't think so. I have 2 brothers and 1 sister. The sister's older than me, and she came afterwards with my 2 younger brothers. My next young brother down, he came with me, along with me, and my youngest brother, who's about 40 now, he was born here actually, here in Rotherham. And my middle brother, Shabir, he's a very, very successful businessman. He runs a very successful martial arts company. My youngest brother, he works in the warehouse with him. Okay. Obviously my sister, she's a housewife, but her kids have grown up as well and doing very well.
Were your parents always supportive of you, in whatever field you chose to
Absolutely, absolutely. My dad, put all the time that he passed away. He was always supportive of whatever I did. And certainly my mother, she only passed away this year, and she was always happy. Whatever I wanted to do, she was fully supportive of that. So when I left work after the Great Steel Strike, after we went back, actually, we'd been out on strike for 16 weeks, and I still don't think we got everything we wanted, but it was a very tough time for us. For me, it wasn't so bad because I was living with my family. Okay. I just got married, so it wasn't such a hardship for me, but for my colleagues who had families and children to feed and raise, it was a very, very difficult time for people in the steel industry in them time. So, but a few months after we went back after the strike, I went into grocery business with my uncle. Okay. Yeah. So I was
something very different from
absolutely
the steel industry to
the grocery business. But to be honest, I'm a walking stereotype. I tell my friends, colleagues in the council, and they find it very amusing because I've had a supermarket, I've run a taxi business, I've even had a restaurant as well, and then finally settling into semi-retirement and then going into politics.
Right. Okay. So you had the personality, you would not sit back and obviously let the things come to you. You'd actually strive for them for yourself and make sure that you actually achieve the goal that you always intended to.
Well, absolutely. What you want to do is in the early days, you want to make sure that you work hard as you can while you're young to make sure you get the sort of best for your family. And I have 5 grown children now, and I used to work. At one time, I remember when we had a bit of a crossover, I had the taxi business, the news agents, and the restaurant at the same time. Wow. So we used to have a 24-hour business. Virtually, we'd open the news agents. Absolutely. And I never used to sort of spend that much time with my kids because I was too busy trying to earn a living for them. Yeah. And then after a number of years, we were quite comfortable. Yeah. There were some issues within the community with the police and the young people that I met up with the local councillor, who I happened to have known since I was about 10, because we used to go to a mosque together. Okay. He actually was doing Quran Hafiz at that time, and I was doing the Qaida.
So, would I be right in saying that, are we talking about or referring to Lord Nazir Ahmed, who's a great icon for the Muslim community, and obviously a lot of young people look up to
as I still do. Yeah. As I still do.
And rightly so. I've heard you so many times in so many functions. He's your mentor, and he's someone that who always backed you up and made sure that you.
Well, to be honest, it was even more than just backing me up, actually, because he's the architect of me coming into politics. Right. Because, as I said, we've been friends a long, long time, ever since we were at mosque together. When I had my businesses in the shops, he had a very successful chain of supermarkets as well, so we knew each other in that respect. And then when we had these issues of youngsters and the police and the council as well, to some respect, because at that time Lord Ahmed was the only BME councillor. Okay. We approached him and said, there's a lot of issues here with the police, the way they actually interact with the young people here in Rotherham, and it was more of a sort of a very heavy-handed approach, one-sided, and there was a lot of community tensions. So Lord Ahmed said, well, look, if you want to change things, you need to get involved. And naturally, the party for me to sort of get involved in was the Labour Party, because being a steel worker, being a union member of the union, big advocate for sort of socialist change as well. So I joined the Labour Party.
We'll come back to the Labour Party on why you chose that, and we'll obviously elaborate further on that. We'll meet you just after right after the break. Please stay tuned.